congratulations on the book. It's really a terrific book. And I have to say, I picked something out of there. Because when I was a teacher, I taught reading comprehension to high school kids. And one of the essays that we covered was Rachel Carson, Silent Spring. And she was basically the pioneer of the present environmental movement. She got rid of DDT. Tell us about Rachel Carson.
So I also discovered Rachel Carson thanks to a teacher in high school. So thank you to teachers. I mean, so many of the women that I write about in the book were kind of brought into my life thanks to my mom and my grandmothers, but also thanks to really extraordinary teachers who thought that history and science and social studies shouldn't just be the province of straight white men. So thank you to my teachers, and thank you for being a teacher and talking about Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson was a government employee who just kind of looking at the data, believed that not only DDT, but pesticides more broadly were doing so much more than just killing insects. She believed that they were seeping into groundwater, that they were hurting other animal species, and ultimately were harmful to human health. And she had to fight for years for her kind of government colleagues to pay attention to her. And she finally believed that this was so important, it couldn't just be a report, it had to be told to the public. And she wrote this seminal book, more than 50 years ago, Silent Spring. And that was so catalytic to the environmental movement here in the United States, and I think is still really kind of the gold standard of public advocacy.
We're still fighting these forces of evil who want to pollute everything.
They need to listen to women more.
Yeah.
They really do.
In general,
Secretary, you also write about Eleanor Roosevelt in the book and her decision to stay in her marriage after she discovered her husband's affair. And then yesterday on ABC, you said that staying in your marriage was personally the gutsiest thing you've done. Now, I've been married 21 years, and it isn't easy to stay in a marriage, but why was that, out of all the things you've done, the gutsiest thing you've done personally?
Well, look, I think everybody knows it was an incredibly painful time and experience for us, and I've lived long enough that I've had lots of friends go through similar experiences, but not on the world stage. So you'd be in a kitchen holding each other's hands, or on the telephone listening to your friend cry and trying to figure out what's the right thing to do. And there's no one answer. No. For some people that I've known, the right thing was take your kids and go. Clean out your bank accounts, don't look back. For other people, get into a negotiation and figure out whether you want to stay. Or in my case, after really hard thinking about it, counseling, praying, all the things that I did and that we went through, I just decided it was the right decision for me. But that didn't mean it was an easy decision. It was a really hard decision. And I think at personal points along the way, sometimes deciding whether to get married or who to marry is a gutsy decision. If you marry somebody outside your faith or of a different race or different ethnicity, that's a gutsy decision. I've had friends whose parents wouldn't go to the wedding and haven't talked to them in years, right? Sometimes when your child has an issue. I had a friend a few years ago who called up and said, I don't know who to talk to about this, but my little girl wants to be a boy. What do I do? And several of us we didn't know what to do. We'd never had a friend who'd faced that before. And several of us kind of read everything, talked to people, and gave her advice. And it was really gutsy for her to say, okay, I'm going to respect the feelings of my child, as hard as it is for me to understand this. So I think when the question was asked, personally, everybody faces a moment of decision. And you have to reach deep down inside and decide what's right for you to do. And hopefully it's reached with love and understanding, but it's gutsy.
Well, people also think it's also gutsy to run for president. My sister's convinced that you're getting back in the race in like 6 months, that there's going to be a window.
6 months.
Is the door closed? No, she really is convinced.
Do you have an announcement to make, Secretary?
I would come here if I did.
All right.
That's not a no.
No, I've said repeatedly no. But it is gutsy to run for president as a man or a woman, I'll tell you that much.
And you know what it's also gutsy to do? It's also gutsy to allow people to have their opinions about your personal life.
Yeah.
Because everyone from the beginning of all of that had something to say. And you were gracious with every one of them. And that I thought was gutsy.
It's more nervy than gutsy.
Well, no, I think it's, you know, when you're running for president and people are judging you on old baggage that they know nothing about.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I just think that's gutsy. And so thank you. And thank you to Hillary and Chelsea Clinton, members of the audience. You know what I'm getting ready to tell you. You get